So obviously everybody knows what he's done in the regular season. He's got 741 points in 657 NHL games, plus 128. He's a beast in the regular season. Right. And that was starting in the 16-17 season that he came into the league and immediately put up points, 61 points in his first season. In the playoffs, however, it's a different story. He has 70 games played in the NHL playoffs. And keep in mind, that's making the postseason every single year, season of his career.
Yeah.
70 games played. He has 63 points, 13 goals, 50 assists. He's a +9. Where do you think a player like this lands salary-wise? He's clearly a great player. He's one of the best players in the NHL when it comes to putting up points in the regular season. Right. He is year in, year out. He's like top 10 in points every year.
Yeah.
But 63 points in 70 playoff games, and it's not really improving too much. This year he did well. He was point per game. But last year he had 3 points in 7 games.
Yeah.
He goes back and forth of having a good playoff season and a bad playoff season.
And also his point per game is 1.1 point per game, right?
Yeah. In this postseason?
Yeah, this year.
No, it was literally point per game. He had 2 goals and 11 assists in 13 games played.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you say point per game player, but you look at other statistics players and it's they're 1.5 or almost
Connor McDavid's
close.
Point per game, but he's not putting up 82 points in 82 games.
Exactly.
I have a tough time thinking of how much he's going to make. So the salary cap's bumping up next year.
Right.
It's projected to be $95.5 million. I believe the max a single player can make would then be $17.6 million, because a percentage of that, it's I think it's just under 20% of your salary cap that gets spent on one player. He's obviously just not a $17.6 million player.
No.
He just isn't.
No.
That's reserved for the Connor McDavids, the Austin Matthews, the Leon Draisaitl's, the players who are going to be.
They'll never give. I don't think the NHL will ever give a max contract ever, because you hear about that in football. They're he received a max contract.
Or basketball, super max, and all that shit.
Yeah, but their spending is so much higher, and they have basketball. You have 12 guys you pay.
Yeah,
hockey you have 20, and then most of those guys and the cap's just way different.
Yeah,
I think the percentage is a little bit different too, but he's definitely not a $17 million. I frankly would not pay him $13 million either.
No.
And that's not a knock against him. He's a great, fantastic player. It's just so tough. If you're a team let's say Carolina.
Yeah.
Who does not have, before Mikko ran, they don't have someone that they can comfortably pay $12 million. No. I don't think. You don't pay Sebastian Aho that.
And Sebastian Aho is your highest paid player.
Exactly.
He should be in an ideal world.
And he's a fantastic player. I don't think, who else? I don't think Stankoven will ever make that. He's a great player, but I don't think he'll ever be superstar level to $13 million a year level.
Yeah.
So I think if you're the Carolina Hurricanes and you look at Mitch Marner to be your superstar, I don't think it's a bad idea to pay him $13 million.
Yeah.
But it is still a question mark for him in the playoffs of do we really want to spend that? When we struggle, we do fine in the regular season. We're Carolina, we're always not always, but for the last 5 years, we've been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now, do we go out and spend $13 million on Mitch Marner to help us perform in the playoffs? I don't know that that's the move. But at the same time, I think all the core I think it's a mixture of the guys together. I think if you split those guys up on different teams in the playoffs, I think they all perform. I think it's the culture and the locker room, and there's so much in Toronto that makes them perform so poorly. And I hope for Marner, Matthews, and Nylander. Nylander, I think, performs well in the playoffs. But even then, if you look at his stats, he's not far from... No. He's 1.1 point per game in the playoffs, if that.
He's been a good secondary piece.
Right.
He's not the guy that leads your team.
And he gets paid 11 something.
Yeah. My thought process here is that Mika Rantanen signing really kind of changed my outlook at what player cap hits are going to be. Because frankly, I think he could have gotten a lot more than he did.
Yeah.
He probably should have. Again, you look at his stats, he's been a top 5 point producing player of the last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
He's one of the best players in the NHL. I'm curious what Mitch Marner is going to ask to sign a contract. Because if you look at Mika Rantanen just signed for $12 million.
Yeah.
And that goes into effect next season.
Right.
Leon Draisaitl just signed an extension for, I want to say it was $14 million per year that goes into effect next season. Mm-hmm. Mitch Marner is not on that level with those players.
No.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
This is not a knock on Mitch Marner.
No, not at all.
But he is not that type of player. He's not a guy who, Leon Draisaitl will be the best player on his team on pretty much any other team in the league.
Yeah.
Mika Rantanen would be the best player on his team on pretty much every team in the league that's not the Oilers.
Yeah.
Right? One of.
Yeah. Except for Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado maybe too. But it's just, it puts into perspective, like I don't think Toronto's going to re-sign him, right?
No. I don't know why you would.
Colorado wanted to sign Mika Rantanen for like $11 million. He's their second best player besides maybe Cale Makar, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely the argument that Cale Makar is better than Mika Rantanen. I think he probably is, but
yeah.
And they didn't want to sign him for $13 million. So what the hell is Mitch Marner going to get?
Yeah.
He's already making 10, I think it's 10 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
What's he going to sign? Because obviously he's going to sign for more.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah. He's 27, 28.
But like, I don't think he's earned that big of a pay bump.
I mean, he has, but he hasn't. Like, again, like obviously the playoffs stats aren't there, but like his regular season stats are definitely there.
Yeah.
I think the tough part is just get him out of Toronto, and you got to take a chance. Like any contract you sign, you're taking a chance on a player because you don't know what their season's going to be like. Even the Mikko Rantanen trade, like that was looked at once he got traded to Dallas and didn't do anything.
As they lost the trade.
They lost the trade to
around a bit.
Yeah. Clearly has worked out really well for them. They're down in the series, but they're only down by 1 game.
Yeah.
And it could easily be tied tonight. But yeah, like I think it's you almost have to take a chance. Mm-hmm. One of these teams have to take a chance on Mitch Marner, and you're going to have to pay him $12, $13 million.
Yeah.
I don't know that Carolina should, but at the same time, like again, they're like Carolina could very well come back in this series.
Mm-hmm.
Very low chance, but they could. But assuming they get gentlemen swept and lose tomorrow night on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever they play, at that point it's like, why not take the risk? You're at a point, you're kind of win now. This team's getting a little bit older. I mean, they still have some youth, but it's kind of, it's win now. You got to go take the chance, and Mitch Marner would be a great addition. I still like the Utah pick for Mitch. I think he can, again, be that number 1 guy. I think they have a lot of studs on that team. So it's also like, do you really want to pay him that much? It's like the Sharks.
Yeah.
Like everyone is saying on Twitter, at least, like it's mixed, but Sharks fans are like, oh, we want Mitch. And I think it's changed after this playoffs a little bit. But
the thing about Utah, which I don't think they're going to go out and get a big splash free agent like that, where they are going to have to re-sign some guys who are going to be making money in the next couple of years.
Right.
Logan Cooley, Dylan Guenther, off the top of my head, are coming off of their rookie deals the next season or two.
Yeah.
And those are both guys who are probably going to draw, $7-8 million a season.
They also have a 3rd overall pick this year.
They also have a 3rd overall pick. They have T. Ginla, who's going to be coming up. Like guys who are going to, assuming T. Ginla pans out, which I have a feeling he will.
Yeah.
They have guys that they are going to need to sign in the next couple seasons. Yeah. T. Ginla still will be 3 years out if he starts playing next year, but specifically Guenther and Cooley.
Yeah.
Those are 2 guys that are going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should be tying up cap space in big name free agents yet when they don't even know.
Yeah.
Like Dylan Guenther could put up 100 points next season. He's going to be bringing in $10 million a year. Like you don't know what.
Yeah.
They have a lot of cap space, but you don't know what these guys are going to be.
Yeah.
And they're competitive, but they're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
I just don't know if now is necessarily the time to
right.
make a big splash. Maybe the next couple seasons.
Yeah.
Once you shore those guys up, I don't know what Clayton Keller's contract looks like, how much longer is remaining on it. I probably should have looked at that before this, but what I saw, Pierre LeBrun had...
okay, one thing about Utah, though. I think if you have, these players that could pan out, again, you don't know. Mitch Marner is a solid player just to have. You're like, this is a great player.
Yeah.
We can have him on our team. And the problem is, you probably have to sign him for 8 years.
Yeah.
He wants something locked down.
Well, he can't sign for 8 years unless he's signed by Toronto and then traded.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's on the open market, you can only sign for 7. If you're re-signed by a team, you can sign for 8.
Got it. Okay.
Which
still 7 years.
Makes me think, though, that Toronto should try and leverage that, like we saw with Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Which we see a lot in basketball. You don't really see in hockey, or at least you hadn't seen in hockey for the longest time.
Yeah.
A sign and trade.
Yeah.
Is because the other thing about this, Mitch Marner is such a good player, you can't let him walk.
Right.
There is so much value. Like, I know I was just saying, he's not worth, $14 million, but he's still worth over 10, right?
Yeah.
It's still very clear, very prevalent.
And you're at that point, it's what, $2-3 million, which is a great player right there, the $2-3 million range. But I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You can't let him walk.
No.
Trade him to Utah for Dylan Guenther or someone like that.
Yeah,
I don't think they would do that, but like a T.J. Ginla or the 3rd overall pick this season. Like
that would be,
sign him and then trade him.
4th.
That way, he's locked up.
Mm-hmm.
The cap's probably going to be less because you don't have to get into a bidding war with other teams for Utah. It's more desirable for Utah. You can have them locked up for that extra year. I don't know. I just don't know because it seems like everybody thinks that Mitch is just going to walk.
Yeah.
Which is like worst case scenario for Toronto.
Yeah.
You have this homebred superstar, right? That is going to walk because you can't pay him.
Yeah.
And you're not willing to work with him on a contract to trade him.
And to let a dude who scored 100 points, over 100 points last season, just walk
is crazy.
You can't do that.
I can't remember the last time that actually happened.
Yeah, I don't. Off the top of my head, I can't remember anyone just walking like that.
I can't think of a single one.
Yeah.
Come to think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
I think trade and sign would be the best. It's tough because how do you make a team friendly deal with it? Unless I guess they agree to it before, but
yeah.
I think basis of it, I think someone's got to take a chance.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to make a splash. I think Carolina is kind of that team that needs to be taking some chances because the other problem with Carolina, though, is they're soft. Mm-hmm. They are not a physical team, and it shows against the Panthers right now.
They get bullied.
They're getting bullied, and I don't know that Mitch Marner is the big tough guy that you that you want on your team. But I mean, there could be Mitch Marner blocked a trade for Rantanen at the deadline with Carolina.
So that actually gets into what I was saying. Now, Pierre LeBrun, there's some questions on how reputable his sources are and how reputable his statements are. But according to him, Marner is only really interested in going to 2 teams, the Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Saw that,
right? Yeah. There are multiple teams interested in him that he stated. I think the Anaheim Ducks would be a good fit for him.
Yeah.
Most of their young guys are already locked up or on longer bridge deals and whatnot. The Chicago Blackhawks, that'd be huge for Connor Bedard.
That would be,
The Detroit Red Wings, which that's an interesting one. Yeah. I guess he kind of fits their age group a little better than the Ducks and the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
But I don't see how he fits into that team. It's kind of just like Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
2.0, a little bit younger.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do anything in the playoffs. And then the LA Kings, which I think that is a really interesting fit. I would hate, as a Sharks fan, for a Mitch Marner to go to the LA Kings and tear up the Sharks when they finally make the playoffs for probably the next, first 5 years to make the playoffs. I would hate that to happen.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great fit for that team.
Yeah.
They have kind of the physicality that you want out of a playoff team.
True.
They play a very defensive style of hockey. The problem that I saw in the Edmonton LA series this past season was they couldn't keep up with the scoring once Edmonton turned it on.
True.
Once Edmonton started to turn it on. That can be that pivotal piece for them. They already have a very solid core built up that if they played in any other division or just matched up a little bit differently in the last couple seasons, they probably would have gone a lot deeper.
Last 5 years. Yeah.
I think that's an interesting fit. I don't know who they would have to lose to acquire a Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
If it was a trade I don't know even what players would bring the value back that you want for Mitch Marner.
Maybe Brent Clark. But even then,
it's
with Marner, it's so tough because it's like his trade value is insanely high.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be getting back. I mean, maybe you just give up picks as the Kings, which honestly is just crazy that the Kings have been this relevant for so long. Because they had a couple down years not making the playoffs, but
that was a while back now, though.
Exactly.
And they still have won a playoff series since 2014.
True. Yeah.
No. I just find it has been fantastic that they've been able to kind of keep relevant while also not being relevant. Because I don't think of the Kings as a playoff team.
Right. But
they made the playoffs the last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But
but they don't have, you have, what's his name? Quentin Byfield.
They're not getting rid of Quentin Byfield.
No. I'm saying that's probably their most notable name.
Yeah. He's the best
obviously, but
piece.
Kopitar's aging. He's not going to be around forever. But if you add a player like Marner, I think that changes the team a little bit more.
I think they'd be a whole lot more competitive with Edmonton.
That too.
But
again,
if they match up again next year,
they probably will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting.
The issue is though, then it's Marner in the playoffs. Can he perform? And again, that's where it's like take the risk. Just take it. It's Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
Scored 100 points last year. I almost got 100 last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic player. Just take the risk. Mainly, I want the Kings to take the risk because if it fails, then
then it's
we're
awesome.
good. Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, I think him wanting to go to the Knights is insane.
Yeah,
because
I don't know how the hell the Knights would make that work cap wise. I don't think they could without moving a huge piece. And
Jack Eichel, no. You can't get rid of Jack Eichel.
You cannot get rid of Jack Eichel. He's the best player. Yeah. It'd be like a Tomas Hertl, but is Toronto going to want to take back Tomas Hertl? I love Tomas Hertl. Are they going to want to take him back for Mitch Marner? Probably not, without a bunch of first-round picks.
Yeah.
I don't know who they would get rid of in that situation.
I think picks are the biggest piece you can get back because no team's going to give up one of their star players for Mitch Marner.
No.
Mitch Marner, you're adding on to your star.
Yeah.
Maybe you give up a prospect and some picks, but there's no way you straight up trade someone like Jack Eichel or
you can't.
The Panthers getting rid of, I don't even know, Reinhart. They wouldn't even consider that. But if you give them picks, I think that's the only way they can do that. But yeah, Mitchie boy, I feel for him. I think it sucks what happened to him in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And just with those crazy fans just being brutal to him. And I think a lot of people forget that they're human beings. And again, it is hockey, and these fans paid money to go and see the Maple Leafs perform in the playoffs, and they haven't. So it's tough, and I get that as a fan base. But I don't think it's, like we said last week, it's not Mitch Marner's fault. If you get rid of Mitch Marner next year,
nothing changes.
I don't think anything changes. I think it's a leadership thing. I think maybe Marner's not a great assistant captain. I think Austin Matthews needs to get the hell out of Toronto if he wants any success in the playoffs. Same with Nylander, frankly. I think it's just a culture thing, and those guys have probably taken on that curse internally more than we know because I don't know. I just would hate to play for the Maple Leafs because it's awesome, I'm sure, when you win, but you don't have that much experience winning.
It's one of those things where it's year in, year out, that's going to have a massive effect on you and your mindset going into the playoffs. Oh, this year's going to be different. Oh, this year's going to be different. Oh, well, I said last year was going to be different. It was no different. This year's going to be different.
Yeah.
It's going to start to have some sort of an effect on you.
Yeah. And I
think it's crazy to say because this team has made the playoffs for the last 10 years and comfortably for the most part.
Yeah.
They need to blow up the whole core.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, get rid of everybody. Start fresh, full rebuild.
Yeah. I agree.
This is the first time I've seen that in hockey in a very long time where a team just needs to blow it up entirely.
Yeah.
Even when they're doing well.
Yeah.
Like they're constantly towards the top of the standings.
Right.
But like if you can't get it done in the playoffs, that's the entire reason that, we play or they play the sport.
Yeah.
That's the entire reason that the business stays alive is you want to win a Stanley Cup.
Right.
And, you can have great seasons. You can win President's trophies. You can win your division all you want. That's great. You can hang the banners like Nashville.
And the Sharks.
And the Sharks. You can do all you want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you don't win a cup, if you don't even make it past the second round,
yeah,
like what is the point of playing?
Yeah. No, exactly.
I think they just need to blow it up. You can get a lot of pieces back for Austin Matthews, for Mitch Marner, for William Nylander.
Yeah.
Like there are pieces you can keep for sure if you want to keep one of those guys around, but it needs to
and
restart.
It's really, I've seen some fans just online saying like, "Oh, the Shanahan plan is over. Thank God." It's not Brendan Shanahan.
No,
it is not. It was not like everyone before then. Like there's so many people that want to point at the coach, that want to point at this and that and that. It's not them. Yeah. I guarantee you. At this point, it is not them. It's been 9 years. This was the year that was supposed to be different.
Yeah.
And granted, you run into the Panthers in the second round. Maybe that should have been a third round matchup.
Yep.
This and that, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like
it's at some point, it's the players. He's put together a superstar core. It wasn't even him. Even Kyle Dubas put together a superstar core.
Yeah.
Shanahan filled in pieces around it, made it frankly a deep hockey team with a great offense, a great defense, and good enough goaltending, right?
Yeah.
Sucks Anthony Stolarz got injured.
It's hockey.
But it's hockey. Like, at some point, the players need to take over and say, hey, we're going to win.
Yeah.
Or we're going to at least go deep in the playoffs. We're going to put something together here.
Yeah.
It's not, at the end of the day, about if they were consistently missing the playoffs, they had nothing, right? Then you can blame the head or the front office, right?
Yeah.
But when they're consistently going deep, they're making
not deep, making the playoffs,
making playoffs, and like comfortably making the playoffs. It's not like they're squeaking in. They're never in the 8th seed. Like they're comfortably at the top or close to the top of their division.
Yeah. The month left in the season,
they're in the playoffs.
They're clinched.
It's not like it's a race to the end. It's not like the Red Wings every season or the Kings where they're squeaking in the last place. Or, like it's not teams like that.
No, it's usually very comfortable.
Point you have to start taking account. Hey, maybe these players can't get it done, and we should have said this 5 years ago.
Right.
Maybe these guys can't get it done.
Yeah.
4 years ago, especially 3 years ago, definitely.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, at some point you have to start blaming the players.
Yeah.
And it seems like every season it's, Kyle Dubas can't put together a team. Oh, Brendan Shanahan, finally he's gone, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He put together a great roster.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best roster we've seen the Maple Leafs have.
Correct.
They went deep-ish for the Maple Leafs in the playoffs. They won 7 games. Wow. Yeah. But, like, you got to win a couple rounds every now and again. You got to make the conference finals, at least make a cup push.
Yeah.
At some point. They're a filler team right now.
Yeah.
For other teams to play until they actually make it to the real rounds of the playoffs.
Exactly. Well, the last time the Leafs won 3 rounds of hockey.
Yeah.
3 rounds of playoff hockey, won 12 hockey games.
Yeah.
Was 1967.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have a 4th round in 1967. Since then, they have not gone, and that's the only original 6 team that has not made it past that in this decade.
I will say, first of all, that's insane. It's actually hilarious to look back, like the last time a team made the conference finals, and it's like even the Detroit Red Wings, who they made it in 2009.
Yeah.
Right?
The Maple Leafs made it
in 2002, I think.
Yeah.
2002 or 2003.
But again, that's over 20 years ago now.
Yeah. Where was I going with that? Okay. It's unfortunate that the Leafs play in the division they play in because they're having to match up against the Tampa Bay Lightning when they went on back-to-back cup runs, the Florida Panthers, the Boston Bruins when they were still an elite hockey team. Mm-hmm. They have not had really an easy first-round matchup besides Ottawa.
And the Montreal Canadiens, 2021.
They lost to them in 2021.
Exactly.
It's just they are playing teams that are going deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like all these other teams are playing tough teams too.
Right, yeah.
Look at Dallas and Colorado.
Yeah, not true.
And yeah, you can say some stuff about Colorado not winning a Game 7, like 8 Game 7s or something like that. But it's still just like
Florida went through Tampa and then went through Toronto in 7 games.
Yeah.
And now
they're playing Carolina. They have the toughest road matchup.
Yeah.
They have the toughest.
And this is like the easiest round for them.
Yeah.
But
it's just one of those things where it's like you got to blow up the team. Yeah. Mitch Marner, get off. Yeah. Goodbye. See ya.
And it's like, again, it's nothing against him. I think it's just a change. It's been 9 years and they're kind of grabbing onto straws. And I don't think Matthews signed a very smart deal with his 3-year bridge deal, which I think Brad Treliving, is he the owner?
He's the owner. Shanahan was the GM.
Yeah.
Dubas before him.
Right. Brad Treliving, who's the former, I want to say owner or GM of the Flames, did the same thing with Tkachuk where they gave him a bridge deal, and then after that bridge deal expired, he was like, this team's going nowhere, I'm leaving. So he did the same thing with Austin Matthews like a dipshit, and is going to give him an opportunity to walk at the age of 28, 29.
Yeah.
Prime of his career. And yeah, I mean, I think I said this when the playoffs or for the Leafs ended. I think you let Marner, don't let him walk, try to trade and sign him, but get rid of Marner somehow, try to get something back. And I think you do run it back one more time with Matthews, with Nylander, and just see, it's not that it's Mitch's fault, but just see if that change, that threat of like, oh my God, like we're going to lose everything.
My job's not safe.
Yeah, my job is not safe. I want to play for the Maple Leafs. See if that sparks anything.
Yeah.
And if the same thing happens next year, blow it up.
Yeah.
Blow it the fuck up.
10 years of utter failure.
Yeah. You cannot, after that, expect anything to be different. Granted, if they make the Stanley Cup Finals, I think that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if they lose to a team in the first or second round again, blow it up.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. I think if you make the conference finals, again, might be a different story. But I think you gotta hold, because building a team like that does not come easily.
Yeah. No,
the way that they have Marner, Matthews, and Nylander. Could put Tavares on there, but I'm not going to. Granted, he had like 30-something goals this year, but
he's still ancient.
Exactly. And
by hockey standards.
Yeah. But building a superstar team loaded like that with Nylander, Matthews, Marner.
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing you can just rebuild and do.
No.
Like we always talk about the Sharks and like how, we're set. But we also don't know what the future looks like with these guys. We don't. We have high hopes and it looks promising, but other teams have had promising rookie years and those players just kind of fizzle.
Yep.
So it's not easy to build that. So that's why I'm saying hold on one more year. Let Marner walk. Get rid of him. Trade him. Whatever you can do. Run it back one more year. Also because I want to see you fail and laugh. But also, like, you can't just give up on that.
Yeah.
After that, blow it up.
So I got a question for you. Enough about teams that are no longer in the playoffs. A specific team. Toronto. Who do you think right now is going to win the Conn Smythe Trophy? As the playoffs ended today.
Ended today? Okay.
Yeah. There's a few guys that I can think of. There's one team I don't have any players on. I don't think anyone on
I don't think, I know that team. And it's
Carolina Hurricanes. I don't think anybody on your team deserves it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see. I need to look at these standings right now. We were bad boys this week. Welcome back to the episode.
Boys.
3 minutes in. We were bad boys this week. I had a crazy weekend. My brother graduated, went to a wedding, so I didn't get to watch too much hockey. I had it on my phone at the wedding, but I didn't want to be that guy. the game. So we didn't watch a whole lot this week. That's why we're not talking too heavily on it, because we don't really know what we're talking about if we are. So we're going to talk about
quick recap. Florida's up 3-1 over Carolina.
Yep.
And Edmonton's up 2-1 over Dallas. Stuart Skinner somehow is winning Edmonton hockey games.
Dude,
I don't get it, but it is what it is. It's happening. Just might as well live with it.
Yep.
I think my picks right now, obviously there's the guys that you would always expect. Connor McDavid on the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
I think that's the front runner.
Yeah.
Mikko Rantanen is a close number 2.
Yes.
Leon Draisaitl, you could also throw in that conversation. Little lesser of a guy, but I think just the overall impact that he's been making on games, Sam Bennett.
Yes.
He does not have the points. He would not win the Conn Smythe if the playoffs ended today. I think if the Florida Panthers go on to win the Stanley Cup, I do not think he'll win it.
No, but he's only got one less point than Barkov right now.
True. I think of Florida, if anybody's going to win the Conn Smythe, it's going to be Bob.
Yeah.
Which is insane because he had a really rough second round against Toronto.
He did, yeah.
But he has been masterclassing the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes.
And Carolina's not a bad team.
No. He makes saves, like you said, in that Maple Leaf series in specific.
Yeah.
Like you were saying about, what's that fraud's name? Hellebuck.
Yeah.
He was making saves that just need to be made.
Yes.
When it mattered against the Maple Leafs. Yeah, he had some shaky games.
That is, your job as a goalie is not to have a 100% save percentage every game.
Right.
Your job is to make the saves that you need to make to win your team hockey games.
Yep.
And I think that is what Bob is best at.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure your team is close enough to where they can win it.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on the other end of the ice. For example, they lost to Carolina. I think that was last night.
Yes.
Correct. 3-0. Bob let in 1 goal in that game. There were 2 empty netters.
Yeah.
Your team's not scoring, right?
Yeah.
You let in 1 goal. You did your best chance.
Yep.
That was
as
down to the wire as it could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is what you have to do to be an elite goalie. And combined with his save percentage, he's second in playoff save percentage right now, first in playoff goals against. He's got 11 wins, 16 games played, and he has 3 shutouts.
Damn.
That's pretty damn good. that's one of every 4 wins, you're shutting the other team out. That's what you have to do as a goalie.
No, I agree. I think if the Oilers and Panthers play again and the Panthers win the Cup, I still think McDavid wins the Conn Smythe again.
Honestly, I think he probably would.
If he continues to be McDavid, which he will.
He has... Okay. He hasn't had as dominant of a playoffs as he did last year.
Right.
Nowhere near as dominant. He put up 41 points last season.
Yeah.
He's got half of that right now. But he is still by far and away the best player on the ice every time he gets onto the ice.
Right.
No matter who he's matched up against.
Yeah.
It's not really close. Obviously, now that Colorado is out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's really not close.
Yep.
He's got 5 goals, 17 assists, and 22 games played is a plus 10. And also, when it's crunch time, even he's in the 3rd round, he's got 5 points in 3 games so far.
Yeah.
That's obviously not what you'd expect necessarily of Connor McDavid. But if you look at Florida's roster, one of the things they do really well is they have a very deep roster, right?
Yeah.
It's not just one guy contributing like it seems to be on the Edmonton Oilers every year. There's 2 guys contributing.
Yeah.
You can toss in Evan Bouchard if you want to, but
he's just passing McDavid.
That, I think, is the major reason why McDavid won it last year.
Yeah.
Is because there was no real major standout. I guess Alexander Barkov.
Yeah.
But it was the entire Florida Panthers that won that cup.
Right, yeah.
Whereas it was Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl that brought the Edmonton Oilers to the cup final.
Yeah.
So I think if it is that matchup again and nobody does anything ridiculous on Florida's side and they just win 4 close hockey games like they're probably gonna, I think he probably wins it again.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think Bobrovsky's comeback from that second round has been insane.
Yeah.
He's now second in, Anderson still has lower goals against average, but he's second in pretty much all goalie stats besides wins.
Yeah. Well, I think Freddie has shown that he gets wiped because he got pulled. I don't even think he played last game.
Dude.
He hasn't played the last 2 games, I think.
I do not get. I don't get that goalie. I don't get him at all.
He played no one. That's why. Sense. Like they weren't. We said this. Like people were like, "Oh, Carolina looks good." And they are a good, fantastic team, but they were never tested.
Yeah, no.
They played the Capitals. They played the Devils.
Yeah,
not tested at all. And he played great, but then you come into a team where it's like, "Oh, this is an actual playoff team that deserves to be this far." And granted, like Hurricanes couldn't do anything about it because with the way everything matched up, they played the Devils first.
Yeah.
Can't control that. You're either playing the Capitals or the Canadiens in the next round. Again, if it was the Canadiens, it'd probably be a lot easier for the Canes already than it was to win that series. I mean, I think Seth Jarvis, he's got 14 points right now. He's been probably their most prolific scorer right now. Got 5 goals, 9 assists.
He is their leading point scorer this playoffs.
Right. But still, this third round, it's like none of them have showed clearly, and they're down 3-1. Like, they won one game. It was a Logan Stankoven goal in the second. And other than that, there was really nothing.
I think realistically, there's one option from Dallas, and that's Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah.
Ottinger hasn't been fantastic. Thomas Hartley's been Harley's been their best defenseman. He's been really good this playoffs. He's got 11 points. The next closest point scorer to Mikko Rantanen has half the points that Mikko Rantanen has. It's Rupa Hintz with 11 points and Hartley with 11 as well.
Is Hintz out or is it Heiskanen out?
Heiskanen was out. I think he's back now.
No, someone took a slash.
Oh, that was Hintz.
Darnell Nurse.
That was Hintz. So I don't know if he's still playing or not. But
I think he was out Sunday. But
Dallas is another one of those teams where they're built similarly to Florida, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where their team is just so deep that it's kind of hard to pick a front runner.
Yeah.
Where everyone contributes. They have a ton of guys with like 8, 9, 10 points.
Yeah.
They only have one guy who has 20, whereas with Edmonton, they have a bunch of guys up at the top, and then it really drops off. Like Connor Brown is like their 6th highest scorer. That's kind of a problem. But
yeah.
So yeah, my pick probably be Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Is the front runner for sure. I think if the playoffs ended today, he's winning the Conn Smythe.
Yes.
Mikko Rantanen from the Stars. Bobrovsky from the Panthers, and I'm not picking a player from Carolina because I don't think any of them deserve it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, mine would be pretty. I feel like it's pretty clear cut for all these guys. Panthers, you could probably swap in and out Barkov.
Yeah. That's not a knock on Barkov. He's been
not
great.
at all.
There's a bunch of Florida players who are very high up there in points. It's hard to pick between these guys.
Right. The Panthers is, I think, the toughest one. I think everyone else.
Yeah.
Again, you could throw in Draisaitl just because he's playing great.
Yeah.
But I think when you have McDavid doing what McDavid's doing,
he's the best player on their team.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
Yeah, it doesn't
He's the
matter.
best player in the world by far.
Yeah.
Maybe not that far, but
still.
Yeah. Anyways, that's about all I have for that.
Yeah. No, I think. I mean, it's tough because there's still so much hockey left to be played.
Yeah. And
the Panthers and Oilers could go to another 7-game series, and McDavid could put up another 20 points. Who knows? And even the Star Series, I don't think that's over by any means. I think the Panthers have that locked in.
Yep.
They might drop one more game, but I think they would just be them. They rest. Who didn't play? Someone didn't play game 4. It was like Mikko Mikkola and some other players sat out game 4. They were resting players game 4.
That's funny.
Which is extremely
Hilarious
disrespectful
in the
just
playoffs.
Yeah, just to be no, we're good. Load management in the playoffs. I've never seen that. But I mean, when you're up 3-0, may as well. Yeah. Especially if those guys have any injury or some stuff they're working through. Yeah, may as well. But
I got a little game for you.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to be switching it up a little bit for this week. We're going to be doing a blind ranking.
Okay.
These are players that are still in the playoffs. I will tell you they're all forwards.
Okay.
There are no defensemen. There are no goalies on this list, so it is all forwards. I'm going to start out number 1 with Brad Marchand.
And you're giving me 5.
Giving you 5 players,
Okay.
5 spots.
Oh, Brady boy. He's played great.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to go off skill. I just want to.
This is off effectiveness,
just
how they've been this playoff run. Don't care about age. Don't care about anything.
Okay, I'm going to put him 2 because I think he's done a lot. And I hope you don't just give me a bunch of third liners after this. But
it's not like that.
Okay, he's
this
going
is
2.
a tough list, though. Your number 2 player from the Dallas Stars is going to be Mikael Granlund.
Ooh, Cranny's played great too. He's been that was a great trade for them. I'm not going to put him 1, but he's a comfortable 3 for me. Unless you have McDavid or someone come out, but you didn't do that last time, so.
All right. Your number 3 player is going to be Mikko Rantanen.
Okay. Regretting some of my picks now because I know there's more to come, but he's a very obvious 1 right now. I can't put him 4.
Yeah.
He's number 1, but I feel like there's going to be 2 more that probably don't belong in the 4 and 5 spot.
We'll see here.
Yeah.
Number 4, Sam Bennett.
Okay. Sam Bennett, I can comfortably put in the 4 spot. I feel like I should probably put him 5, though, because someone's going to pop up that should not be at 5.
Do you want to change your position now? I'll give you the opportunity for Sam Bennett.
Well, I haven't made a decision yet. I'm working through whether I'm putting him 4 or 5.
All right.
I feel like you're going to pull someone out that is great. Oh, you could not. Oh, my God. Sam Bennett's played fantastic. He's got 14 points. He's going 4.
This list, I think, would have been very good if you didn't put Connor McDavid at 5, because that was your 5th player.
I knew he was sneaking in there.
I think it would have been good. So your list is right now, number 1, Mikko Rantanen, number 2, Brad Marchand, number 3, Mikael Granlund, number 4, Sam Bennett, number 5, Connor McDavid. I will give you 1 switch. You can switch 1 player around to make your list better. So you can only switch like this. So if you want to switch 1 and 5, 2 and 5, 3 and 5.
Right. Okay. If I get 1 switch, I don't want to do this to him, but I kind of have to because I can't put McDavid at 3. I'm going to switch Marchand and McDavid.
All right.
Because you could make a case that Mikko Rantanen has been the best player in the playoffs. Effectiveness.
Yes. Absolutely.
He's got more goals. And especially that Colorado series, he won that for them. But yeah, I mean, realistically, like to my old list, probably move everyone down 1 and put McDavid at 1.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect
I think
list.
that's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
I'd still probably have Sam Bennett above Mikael Granlund, but it's a blind ranking, so
exactly
really tough. I just appreciate the fact that I haven't done a blind ranking because it might be awful.
Yeah. Okay, you're next week. I'll do one for you next week.
Your list after modifying is Mikko Rantanen at 1, Connor McDavid at 2, Mikael Granlund at 3, Sam Bennett at 4, Marshy at 5.
Okay.
And I think that's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
I think that's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, again, if you flip McDavid, yeah.
Those 2 guys they're both very similar in points, and they both do very similar things on the ice.
What's hilarious to me is when we post this on Instagram, this won't go in the clip, but for any of you guys watching, look at the clip when it gets posted on Instagram. And people are always saying, like, never list again. Your ranking sucks. I'm like, it's fucking blind. What am I supposed to do? Like, the one that we did with the captains, they were like, this is awful. I'm like, dude, I don't know who's coming. Like, I didn't know Adam Lowry was going to be my last and final pick. I was waiting for McDavid or Ovi. And yeah. It's just hilarious. So everyone go
check out the Instagram, the TikTok.
Yeah, go watch that.
Subtle plug.
Hilarious.
Check it out.
Whose time we got? We always usually do the weekly check-in before the episode.
Yeah.
Let's do it after. How was your week? Or I'll go with mine, but you can...
My week was interesting. I'm not going to get into too much.
How was your trip?
But I went to Buell, Idaho. We went paddleboarding on the Snake River.
That place is awesome. I've never been there, but it looks
beautiful.
Yeah.
Super fun. If you end up going, so what you do, basically you park at this place. It's called Blue Heart Kayaking. So we went to Blue Heart Springs. It's like a 15, 20-minute paddleboard actually to Blue Heart Springs downriver. beautiful, super fun. Once you get there, it's crazy because the Snake River is kind of a gross, dirty river.
Yeah.
Water's very green. It's very algae-ish.
Yeah.
And then you get into this little spring, Blue Heart Spring, and crystal clear, beautiful blue water.
Yeah.
You can see down to the bottom. I don't know how deep it was. I didn't actually get into the water because I had my dog on the paddleboard. Did not want him jumping off.
No. Does he like water?
He does, but he's not very good at swimming.
Okay.
And
so he knows to stay.
Yeah, trying to get him to get back onto the paddleboard would be the worst part. I think he could doggy paddle fine, but trying to get him back onto the paddleboard would be a pain.
Yeah.
Then you go downriver. It's like full round trips. I think like 4.5 miles. So you go like 2-ish miles downriver, and there's this place called Ritter Island, which it wasn't really that fantastic on one side. You paddleboard around it, and there's a big hatchery. Mm-hmm. There's like the biggest trout hatchery in the world or something like that.
Yeah.
That's right behind the island. And that was tricky as heck because one side of it, the current flows where you're like towards you.
Yeah.
So you're going upstream, which was really difficult to do with the dog. And it was pretty shallow, so I had to keep getting off the paddleboard, and the dog was hopping in the water and galloping next to me. That was fine. But it was just tricky trying to paddleboard upstream and then walking upstream, and I had my Birkenstocks on, which are not great water shoes. But then once you get past that, there's a bunch of waterfalls. It's like really, really pretty behind it. It's just this little stream that you go up. It's pretty cool. So that was a good time. Then we went to a winery, Holsinski Winery, which is in Buell, Idaho. Really random, very strange, but it's like a beautiful winery that they got out there. Then we went to a Mexican place and just went back to her. Oh yeah, it was funny. The Airbnb we stayed in, beautiful place. It's on a bunch of land. There's like a huge backyard with the dogs playing around back there. Fire pit. It was very nice, very peaceful.
Yeah.
But the place itself was like a double wide, like a trailer, which I did not realize when I booked it.
Yeah.
It was still really cool, really fun.
Yeah.
There were 2 farms adjacent to us. One of them had a bunch of like baby cows, which was funny.
Yeah.
And then one of them had yaks, which I didn't realize yaks are aggressive. So there's this sign on the fence that said yaks are not pets. They are aggressive. And it was really funny. They never came close to us. Didn't see one. But it was just really interesting. It was a good time.
Yeah. Cool.
Beautiful weather.
Yeah.
I got kind of sunburned. You can't really see it anymore on my wrist. It was funny. Reapplying sunscreen. So we were out on the water for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I got super sunburned on just my hand. It's kind of tanned away, but my girlfriend got extremely sunburned on both of her hands.
Damn.
They were all puffy, so that was a little tough. But what else did we do? I guess we went to a hot spring as well. Nice. The night we got there, it was cool. Some like established hot spring, and they have like private rooms, which are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it was called Miracle Hot Spring. But yeah, it was a relaxing weekend.
Nice.
It was a fun time.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I went, so Brandon, my brother, graduated. Shout out to Brandon.
Brandon, shout out to you. Loyal listener. Clap, clap, clap.
Yeah, I don't know if he listens.
You didn't fail out of school.
Yeah.
Good job.
He had like a 3.9 GPA. He was a magna cum laude, something like that.
That's shocking to me. Good job, Brandon.
He's a smart kid. He's way different than me.
Yeah.
He pays attention in school, which so he goes to Bishop Kelly, which is a private Catholic school, and every single student there was like, there was more kids with a 4.0 than there were kids with 3.9. Mm-hmm. And like a majority of the class had a 4.0.
That's crazy.
And I'd say the other half, I know, the other half had like a 3.75 or higher. And then there were some kids that had nothing, which I felt horrible for, because like there was maybe like 20, 25, 30 of them that didn't.
That's tough.
Which is crazy. But so his graduation was this week, and so I had that, and then I also had our friend Zooch's settle down, Zooch and Wild. Zooch had a wedding this weekend, and I was one of the groomsmen, and I got not gaslit, but like I gave a speech.
Oh boy.
I was not the best man, but the best man, maid of honor made their speeches. Parents made their speeches, and then they were like, "Did anybody from the wedding party would like to make a speech?" And Yaya was in the back, and he's like, "Sean," and I'd had a couple beers at that point, and I was like, "Okay, no, yeah, like maybe 3."
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Couple.
Good for you.
It was pretty early, like because we had the ceremony, and then it was like dinner. Like there wasn't a whole lot of time to drink. And I thought I was a little bit more confident and liquid couraged up. And I was like, I can do this. Mind you, there's 100 people at this wedding.
Yeah.
115, I think to be exact. And I get up to the front. I look out to the crowd. Immediately, my heart is like pumping. And in the middle, I was like, I can do this. Like, I'm pretty good at going up at karaoke. We talk into a podcast and microphone.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get 300,000 views on our videos.
Yeah, put this out on the internet forever.
Yeah, right. And like, I don't care that much. And then I got up and like, actually, because we're here by ourselves with no one.
Yeah.
It's a lot different. And I get up and my heart just starts racing. And I was like, thanks for coming out, guys. I met Zach at Tin Roof and we beefed. It was the Sharks versus the Knights series. And I just went on like a whole... just, I don't know, like just horrible. Like I had stuff as I was walking up to the place where you make the speech. I had stuff prepared, just like, I love them both. Zach's like an older brother to me, stuff like that. None of that came out. None of that came out. It was all just like, yeah, I met them at Tin Roof. I was like stealing from like the best man and bride, like just like, yeah, I agree with them. And it was the worst thing ever. And then eventually I just like knew I was shooting myself in the foot and I was like, love you guys. And like put the mic down and walked back. And Zach Voisin's like laughing at me.
Got a slow clap from the crowd.
But like everyone was nice about it. But I wish I leaned into it a little bit more and just been like, honestly, like I just blacked out. Like I don't remember anything I said. Thought I had more liquid courage. But yeah, it was just,
that's so awesome.
But, also interesting. My grandma came up here.
Sweet.
And my grandpa Steve, he passed away about 2 years ago, and he has a red 1990 Toyota pickup. Manual, 5-speed, front locking diff. And she asked me if I would want it because it's just sitting in her garage right now. So... could be coming up soon, but not new, 1990 22 RE Ford pickup truck or Ford Toyota pickup.
Will you sell me your 4Runner if this happens, please?
No, so my dilemma is it's only a 2-person. It's only a 2-person. The truck's only it's not extended cab. It's only a regular 2 people can fit in it.
Yeah.
The good thing is that I don't have to drive as much to people because I'm like, well, you got to sit in the back if you're going to go anywhere. But the other issue is I still want the 4Runner to be able to have that and to be able to drive or have people in the back or be able to camp because I camp in that the 4Runner. I could do it in the bed of the truck, but the 4Runner is nice because it's enclosed and there's no bears that are going to get me. But I don't know. If it goes to anyone, it's going to Brandon, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
I have been asking Sean to buy this 4Runner for 3 years now. And he's like, no, it's not worth it. I don't want to sell it. If I got rid of it, I want to get something better. And it's not worth anything.
Well,
it's worth more than I want to sell it to you for. Nerd, sell me the 4Runner.
Maybe we'll think about it. It needs new tires. So I'd give you a discount based on needing new tires.
Perfectly fine.
Okay.
I'll pay you more than Brandon will.
Brandon's not going to pay me anything. That's my brother.
Bro,
I'm not going
to want $6,000, $7,000 in your pocket. Come on now.
I could use it for the truck. True.
You could get a bed cab for it for that much money.
A what?
Like a bed cab.
Oh. Wait, what is that?
Like a cab that goes over the bed of the pickup, and then it's basically a 4Runner.
That already has that.
Oh my God.
But I want to take that off because I want the pickup. I want the Marty McFly. It's red. Super cool.
It's breaking my heart, man.
We'll think about it. We'll think about it. Nothing's for sure yet. I'd have to fly into San Jose and then drive up.
I'd have to sell
Boise.
my STI regardless. So
Exactly.
it needs to happen before anything.
Yeah.
But
still,
think of me.
I will.
In your heart.
I wouldn't. If I were to sell it to anyone, it'd be you. How
Thank
about
you.
that?
All right.
If not, it's going to Brandon. But if I sell it, I'm not going to sell it to someone random. I'd sell it to you.
You can still use it for camping.
True.
I have
Still
a
see it.
tent. If I go camping with you, you can sleep in the 4Runner and I'll sleep in the tent.
Fair. Yeah, that is true. It's got a crack in the windshield.
I don't care. So does my Subaru.
Okay. Fair enough.
So does my Honda. So does my BMW. All of them
Everything, yeah. Well, the reason I give it to Brandon is because he has a BMW he got from
I remember that
Lawless
5
parents.
Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he can't really drive that in the winter. He's
Fair.
going to Boise State, but the snow isn't as bad there. But it's tough to if you were to drive it to my parents back home, it's a little tough. So
I get it.
But we'll see. More developments on that later. But that Toyota, I've been I'd love a Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Like a 80 series Land Cruiser, and that would be my ideal car. I like the 90s ones, but they're only automatic, which I don't love. But that Toyota pickup has been something I've always, that Marty McFly style.
Yeah.
Those ones. 22 RE2.
That's bad.
Slow truck.
I don't know why you wouldn't do that, frankly.
Exactly.
Do it.
Yeah. Those trucks only go, I think 80 miles an hour,
Oh, well.
if that. But still.
How
so
often
fun.
are you on the freeway?
Well, yeah,
Very.
exactly. But if that's the thing. If I travel, then I'm I don't want to be
Yeah.
tacking out on this thing.
You can rent a Subaru for $30 a day.
True. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think of that.
See, I'm setting you up right now.
Yeah.
You want to go camping? Get an Outback. I got you. $30 a day. Sleep in the back of the
Figure
Outback.
something out. I could sleep in the back of the truck too, realistically. But all right, that is our episode. Hopefully you guys stick around for that fun part at the end of us talking about our weeks. But if you already clicked off, fuck you. If you're still here,
You're not around to hear that. Fuck you.
yeah. If you are here, thanks for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe. Trying to hit 100 subs. We're so close. We're at 74 as of right now. We need to hit 100 or else we're going to be fired by ourselves.
I'm going to fire myself.
No. But yeah, we're trying to hit
That's
100 by the end of playoffs, and we've only got a month left to do it. So keep chugging. Follow the Instagram, TikTok, see all of our clips, stuff like that. And you'll get notified for new episodes too.
Heck yeah.
And if you're on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. No 4s, 5.
No
5s
four.
only.
Only 5.
Only
All
5-star.
We got a perfect record so far. 3
Yeah.
reviews,
Don't need
5 stars.
Any of you
baby.
messing it up to be funny. 'Cause it's not.
Brandon listens to this episode. He's going to do it. He's like, Alan's not getting my 400.
4 stars. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.